Hello and welcome back to Automotive Tales. On today's episode, I am in the mighty Mazda, but today's episode is not about the fake Fiesta. It's about our other unexceptional car. So, the poor little Toyota has been sat for a while. Martin has been very busy, child on the way, so you can imagine what that is like. But today is the day where we are going to get the RAV4 up and running, because we have found a buyer for the RAV4, but we need to address a certain power steering fluid leak, leaking like the Exxon Valdez, which is not cool. I also, while I was in Halfords getting some very expensive washers for the Land Rover, I also picked up a very cheap oil filter. So we're going to throw some new oil and a new filter in the Toyota. And exactly as I say that, here arrives Martin, hopefully with the keys for the Toyota. It's a bit mouldy. Ooh, It's
because there's a gap in the window, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's still very, very filthy from the festival in summer.
What's used for bonfire night?
And bonfire, this is true.
But underneath this faded exterior is a heart of pure arthritis.
So, first things first, we're going to top up the power steering fluid to stand half a chance of getting to the workshop, where we're going to take it today and have a little play. See if we can find out where this fluid is coming back out and how easy it is to rectify. And then check I've got the correct oil to actually do an oil change. Got the filter, definitely got the filter, but not so sure about the oil yet.
I'm going to put that all the way to max because it's instantly going to burn some away. Right, shall we have a look?
The question is, let's see if it starts, or am I going to have to get the jump pack out?
I have got a little booster pack with me. Oh, there's some gilet covered in mould as well.
Mouldy. I don't know, how confident are you? Extremely confident, it's a Toyota. Why did we ever doubt it? Sounds well. Oh, yes. Ta-da! We have RAV4 on the ramps.
And see, they were always a very tall car, built for off-roading.
Exactly. So it's only just off the ground. So, we are hunting a problem that's causing this.
Having a wee.
Yeah, it is leaking fluid everywhere. So, I'm going to take you up into the wheel arch. We're just going to ignore the gator on the back of there that maybe isn't holding grease at all. Well. So, right inside there, you will see, you probably won't see because it's so bloody grubby and horrible, a lot of fluid. And if I shine the torch up there, you'll see some lines going into the top of the steering rack that are dripping with fluid. Now, the steering rack itself actually seems to be holding fluid. I think just the seal is broken. So we're hoping to nip those up, but that requires a... I can't talk upside down, apparently. It requires a crow's foot spanner to get in, because we can't get in from underneath. While we can see it from here in the wheel arch, I can't get a spanner to it in such an orientation just to turn it. So we're probably going to leave this on the ramps for now. Go and order some crow's foot spanners, and in the meantime, fix some other little problems. So one of them was that the radio never worked. Turned out, it just needs a bloody fuse. Right, you need... I've lost it. I put it in my pocket and I've lost it. There we go. Where's that? 15 amp fuse. That one looks okay. Have a go with that, Martin.
Thank you very much.
So as you can see, the RAV4 is clean. It was so beautifully clean when you detailed it for Festival of the Unexceptional.
Yes, but then it was used for its actual job.
Yeah, it has been properly used. There's no doubt about that. And then it's been parked for 3 months. So if the radio comes on after all of this...
I can't see where the power is. Where is the power button?
Martin, it's not raining inside.
Oh yeah, good point. Oh, wrong way. I can't see the buttons. I think it's still not working.
Okay.
But there's a light on the floor down there, as in a portable one. It's on the floor with a cigarette flower thing on it. Let's chuck that in, wherever that lives here. Does that work? So that works. So,
okay.
So we've definitely got power. So that fuse has definitely put that back to life. And that wasn't working.
Yeah, how do you turn it on? There we go.
So that it works.
So it might be a dud radio.
It might be. It's not the original. And I might just be pressing all the wrong buttons, but...
No, I think it would come on if the fascia's on.
Yeah.
Let's turn you that, yeah. All right, well, we will get on the bench, put 12 volts across it, see if it comes to life.
Nice.
Or check the 12 volts in here.
Cool. What is it with Japanese cars and warnings for everything? I did the action that starts that. How?
It's telling you you've inserted something in a hole.
Oh, I'm out. Original keyring though.
Okay, I am back at the workshop. We had a bit of a break for, Christmas, and to get some parts and to get some tools to get the Toyota back up and running. So while the RAV4 has been sat here in the workshop, it has piddled out pretty much the entire bottle of power steering fluid, which means it's leaking passively from somewhere rather than it's being spat out by the pump or the steering rack as it's moving. So the first job is to try and find out where this is all coming from. So I'm going to start up at the top here. So here should be the power steering bottle. I wanted to check that it wasn't actually just dripping out of the bottom of the bottle because it did look quite dirty around here. There was quite a lot of fluid. Now I suspect that's probably from people filling it up over and over again, and a bit of overspill. But I wanted to be sure. So the bottle has come out. I have now cleaned it and pressure tested it, and the bottle is good. So I wanted to check there wasn't any sort of cracks under here or any of these inlets, outlets were damaged. So the next job now is going to be start to follow the pipework down to the pump and the rack and see what we can find down there. Well, the hoses here look pretty good. Obviously, there's a bit of dampness on there, but I think that is, again, symptomatic of the overfilling. This is the bracket that the power steering bottle goes on. And you can see the larger outlet pipe there looks nice and clean going down. There is some splashing on that guard there for the cam belt. I'm guessing that's splashing up from wherever it's dripping out. And actually you can just about see the power steering pump down there. So let's go down and have a proper little look down there and see what's going on. It looks pretty dry though. So it's somewhere down the back there, it must be leaking between maybe the power steering pump and the steering rack. Right, well, this is the bottom end of the pump, and this is absolutely solid. In fact, you can see a drip of power steering fluid there, but it looks like it's coming from further up. So I need to get under the car and investigate more. Under the car. I think I might need to find something to lie on because, ew. Also, while we're in the wheel arch, I took the arch lining out and discovered another problem. That's not meant to be a tooth belt, but it is now. So I think one of the things we're going to start with is by putting a new power steering belt on because, well, that looks horrendous. Well, it's looking suspiciously like the pipe that goes into the pump, so it's gravity fed from that top tank, is where it's leaking, but I can't quite see why. I wonder if that notched belt has literally rattled something here loose. So I think the next job is to get the pump out. I'm fairly certain there's not an awful lot of fluid left in the system, and see how bad it is and what we can maybe fix on the bench, or if we're going to have to get a new pump or even maybe a rebuild kit with some seals. But we shall soon see. Well, I found the source of the leak. It's actually the pipe going from the reservoir into the pump. So my decision was to try and take the pump out. This was a mistake. Toyota, in their infinite wisdom, put the pump behind this piece of bodywork, which holds the lower cross member, and it's therefore impossible to get this out. The only way I can see is if I drop the whole subframe, take the lower arm and the drive shaft out of the way here, which, to be fair, the drive shaft needs to come out anyway, or a couple of videos said, take the cylinder head off. It's here, it's loose, I can get it unbolted, but I've got to take the f***ing cylinder head off. Piss the f*** off, Toyota, what the hell? Like, the alternator, which is just there, I can get out from under the bonnet with it, like, literally 3 tools. This, I've got to take half the car apart to get to. Why? Why make that so difficult? What an absolute... Well, while I don't want to fight with the car at the moment, and I can't stand the rain that's hammering down outside, I thought I'd try and get the radio and the car, get these two working together. And it turns out it's as simple as the connector had fallen out the back of the radio. It was just disconnected. And when I reconnected it, I found out we got a free CD. Simply the best. Right, finally some progress. Fresh charge on the windy gun, and we've got the pulley off. We've also got the cover off that goes around the drive shaft, which sits just below the pulley on the engine, because I was hoping I might be able to pull the pump out that way. Turns out not, but it's going to make it more accessible when the drive shaft comes out, because it's got to come out anyway, because the gate is knackered, and taking that out should give me the access to pull the pump out. The last bit was to get the banjo off, which has now come off after I got a bit of professional help from Nuff. As you can see, the doctor has got everything apart. And the next thing to do is get the hub nut off, which I've had a bit of a crack at and couldn't get moving. So he's gone to see if he can find the big windy gun in his van and a better, deeper 30mm socket, because mine's kind of bouncing around a bit because of this huge amount of thread here. Once we've got that loose, I'm going to put it back on again finger tight, because this car needs to come out of the workshop because there's another car coming in for some work. So we're going to hopefully be able to wheel it out, because the pump is now free from the drive shaft. It's out of the way. So we'll be able to drive this out, put it out in the yard, do another job, bring it back in tonight, and finish ripping it to pieces. Great. The doctor thinks the steering arm needs to come out to get the pump out this way. I'm hoping that once the drive shaft comes out, it'll come out this way. We shall soon see. Just like that. This is what it helps when you've got professional help, see?
Big boy toys.
The doctor's fixed it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Just like that. And that would explain the strange noises as we moved it out. The pump is actually sitting... That, my friends, is... what